Hello. Yeah, I don't know how this recording will be because honestly, I had a lot. Well, yeah, I had more to say, or it was more fresh in my mind what I was going to say yesterday when I initially watched this video from Post Nostalgos, as well as uh, it was the day that the quote unquote the events that some of the events that I'm going to recollect happened, so it's a little bit less fresh in my conscious mind or whatever. So yeah, hopefully it'll still come out to something in the end. I don't know how the audio will sound. The video is going to be lower quality just because I realized I could change my webcam's resolution, and that's a pretty good thing that I could change it, so I don't have to do much editing, post editing or whatever to make it smaller. I was gonna make it like 320 by like whatever, but then I was like, man, I get super pixelated, and I was like, if the file size is not too bad, then I'll just be like, good enough, and probably just upload it straight like that. Once again, I'm on this new system, so I don't have a great grasp on the kind of setup stuff, and it's just kind of weird. So yeah, I'm just recording this, but yeah, this is a response, sort of more like a kind of a delayed conversation, if in a sense. I guess more not more so than like a quote a response necessarily. Um, but I'm just gonna show my face instead of a screen because there's not much to show with post to sell this video. It's basically all audio. So I'm just going to listen to that, um, and hopefully you can hear him. I have the audio turned down a good amount for him, but for his side. But yeah, hopefully it's audible and stuff. So yeah, and hopefully just by that I will kind of recall what I wanted to do, kind of talk about. Either way, I don't know. Maybe somebody will find this interesting or whatever. I just felt like talking about it. And I have the house to myself at the moment, so it's like, why might as well. I just took a shower, so got my nice beach towel hanging up to dry. Um, but yeah, it is the day after Post the Star Ghost. I keep saying Post the Star Ghost. Rudy, because he's been calling me by my first name or whatever, Kirk. Um, so I might as well call him, just say Rudy. He had made this upload. I don't know if he recorded it necessarily that yesterday, and probably not, but he at least uploaded it yesterday. And the kind of events, there was like a synchronicity kind of to the fact that what he was talking about basically happened to me on that day in a similar kind of sense. But yeah, let's not jump to conclusions here right away, and let's listen to what Rudy said in his video, the title being "You Are No Different Than a Schizophrenic." Schizophrenic. They say the crazy thoughts out loud. So let's see what he says here. This is like a minute into the video, but yeah.
Families, which is the from what I understand, it's the way people kind of used to think in the good old days, quote unquote, before the world went crazy. And Kirk will tell you, metaphysical truth and gains, that it's always been crazy, and he's right. He's absolutely right. Since the days of Adam and Eve, it's been crazy. My thing is all I'm saying is it seems to be getting worse. It seems to be accelerating. The astrologers.
Um. So yeah, with that, not that I think you were incorrect in how I kind of worded it probably before. I do think that to some extent it is over blown or whatever you want to say, like how I don't know. I guess it depends. It depends on when I guess when you were born, what time you were born. Like for me, I just kind of look at it as more of that not much like the way that this place kind of works, it just kind of everything kind of repeats in cycles or whatever. That's kind of how I look at it. So in that sense, the craziness has just always been there. It's just now we're kind of actually sort of like noticing it, and it's becoming perceivable to us as something that is crazy, whereas before it wasn't. Before for us it wasn't crazy necessarily, but uh yeah, I don't think that it is static in its levels here. It's amplitude. It is not static in in the fact that it is like, oh yeah, it's just like a level amount of craziness. It has been getting crazier. I would say, at least from my perception, it definitely has been getting crazier. Maybe not to the extent that some of these other people might be talking about, or how they've been expressing how they feel about it. Um, like, yeah, like I guess this is kind of just the. I'm not gonna get, because he talks more about it later on in the video, and then I'm gonna talk about it more specifically there. But when I went to the store yesterday, um, I drove to the store with my dad yesterday because like once every, for me it's about every 3, maybe 3.5 weeks. So like almost once a month, I go and like I go to the store, like restock on stuff that I personally like eat or whatever. Um, I just, because my mom buys so much crap that just kind of out of nowhere a lot of times, so it's like I'm not sure what kind of stuff they're gonna have, so I have my own kind of stuff. She just has whatever, and then they kind of eat that. I'll still, if I know it's gonna go to waste, I'll still have from their stuff. But I get stuff that I know that I want, for that amount of time or whatever, which is usually like 9 to probably like 9 pounds of apples on average, like 3 bags of apples that they have. 33, baby, 33, 3 3 pounds bags of apples. Um, this this like big like value container of this ice cream at the one store, because that's like almost the perfect amount to last that amount of time that the apples do. That I have like 2 apples every time that I eat, kind of thing. Um, and what else? Sometimes maybe like a bag of rice if I need that. It usually lasts a while. Uh, and yogurt. I've been having yogurt somewhat recently, and stuff like that. Like I just go to the store every few weeks and get stuff mostly for myself, like restock on stuff. So we went to the store yesterday, and there was 3 stores. It was 3 stores technically, like different ones. It was I'm sure that Rudy knows ShopRite, within the U.S. at least. I'm sure it's probably everywhere, ShopRite, but ShopRite probably one of the bigger ones in the U.S. I think. Um, Aldi, which is not as big, but it is a pretty becoming more prominent, I guess, in the U.S. Yeah, Aldi, ShopRite, and this one he might not know, but he might know, Stop and Shop, which is a probably much less popular than ShopRite. I mean, at least for us, the one place is way less popular than the other one, but I actually like the place that's less popular just because there's less people, which is funny how it works. But yeah, I went to ShopRite, um, ShopRite first, and then Aldi, and then Stop and Shop and all that stuff. Got the stuff that I wanted, but specifically at the ShopRite, where it's always pretty busy, even when it's not as busy as it normally is, it still feels pretty busy in there. It the people, it was just weird when I was going through there today or yesterday. Um, it was like, I don't know, maybe it was just my mood that day. I mean, I was in a bad mood or anything yesterday. I don't think I was, but maybe a little bit or something. But it was just like I was just going through and observing for some reason, like going quickly to the things that I needed because I knew what I wanted, where to go, and everything. But there was just people getting in the way still somehow, even though I knew where I wasn't bringing a cart. I was just bringing one bag because I wasn't gonna have that much. So I'm able to just dodge through whatever crap because I don't have a cart with me and all that. Um, but there was just a few examples that were just like when I was going through there, like specifically when I was at the dairy section, because I was mostly going there for yogurt, because they have like this yogurt that I like there. Um, or at least that I recently realized I like, and they have pretty good prices on that stuff at ShopRite. So, they're not the stores aren't super far away here, so it's not outside the logical reason to go to one that has better prices and that kind of thing. Like just for certain stuff, they're pretty close. But I went to the dairy section where the yogurt was. And in the spot that the yogurt was that I wanted, there was this lady that was this like older, like not like super old, but like definitely older black lady. And I wasn't sure what the hell she was doing. Like she was just there, but just I know people do this at stores all the time, and that's just like one of the things about how ridiculous people are. Whatever the robot mentality or the just NPCs, whatever, it makes you really think that you're in the Matrix and you're like this person just appeared because it's like what in the shit are you doing here? Like okay, but she was I thought she was talking to somebody, but she was actually talking on her phone. I just couldn't see it in her hand. It was in like one hand, but she was just jabbering on the phone, standing there with her cart, just blocking the entire thing. And I'm just waiting. I didn't feel like talking to anybody, as I normally don't, but I was just waiting for her to move because I knew she would eventually move. But I'm just like thinking, like, what the fuck is this lady doing just standing here, just talking like on the phone? Like, I don't know. She was like taking some things of yogurt, but I don't know what the hell she was doing. But it just made me think, like, man, what are you doing? And then eventually she did move, but it like that few moments, like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, where I was just like, what the fuck is this one doing here? Like that just made me just laugh. But I don't know, the people were just acting weird in the store. Like I guess because I was observing it, but they were just acting weird. Later on, Rudy he talks about couples, and I was gonna talk more about that with this old couple I saw, but I'll get more to that later. But the people were just acting fucking strange. A stranger that I'm like kind of used to, I guess, like just getting in the way. And I know that's how it always is, like the way with stores or whatever. Everybody seems to go and funnel to the checkout as at the same time instead of like being more even or whatever, like people leaving and then people coming kind of thing. This time it wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad to get to the checkout, but it was just like people were just acting weird. I was going to get some like one, or I was looking at like the peanut butter or something because I was like might as well get some more peanut butter. Um, and there was just like this old guy, and I don't know if he was like trying to like no be nosy or like or something on some like other old guy. It was so many fucking old people there yesterday. I was like, what the hell? Um, which is kind of comes to the what point later on, but it just kind of funny. But I was just it was funny when I got back into the car after checking out. I told my dad about this, and I was just like, dude, what the fuck is with you boom booms? Like I instead of saying boomers, I at some point I came up with that. I was like, I started just saying instead of boomers, boom booms. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is up with you boom booms? Like, they're just all in the way and just acting so fucking weird there. Like, what are you like? You're just at the store, and I'm not the fastest shopper necessarily, but I'm way faster than most people I've noticed. But like, I'll be going for an item or something, or go to some place, and people would just be standing there or filling up the aisle doing nothing, and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing here, man? Like, what are you why did you come here today? Like, if you're if you're not just something that was created in a second there as you were just rendered as I came through or whoever came through or whatever up to that store, what in the shit are you doing here? You're just like like just standing in the aisle doing like nothing or just aimlessly like looking around like you're fucking lost. And it's like, I mean, I know these people go out just like how my mom does this. They go out to fill in time in their void of a life because they have no hobbies or no interest or whatever the fuck. They don't do anything. So they just go out for the sake of it to fill time in their fucking like meaningless existences basically. You know, it sounds more harsh than I really am trying. Like it sounds more harsh when I say it that way, but like they don't know what to do with themselves. So they just come to whatever, they just do whatever, go and like I was reading some story that some people said that at McDonald's is. I know I'm just all over the place, but it's like fuck it, just let it be as it is. Just let it flow. But this story, I guess, some McDonald's they have a sign. They have a sign on it that says like you're not allowed to be there for like more than 30 minutes or some shit, like no loitering. You know, who the fuck actually would enforce that? But be enforcing that. But apparently that's like this guy that worked at a McDonald's, he said like that would just be a thing because there would be like this group of old guys that would just come to the McDonald's in like the morning. They would get like a coffee and like maybe something else, and then they would just sit there in the McDonald's for like 5 hours, like a small group of old guys just bullshitting about the same stuff. And I know this is not an exaggeration because I remember my grandfather who just recently died, my mom's side, her father, who just recently died. That's like I realized only kind of recently because when I was younger I didn't really like notice some of these things, but that's all they did is him in his old age and his buddies, his like redneck fucking buddies. That's all they would do for entertainment or whatever. They would just drink alcohol, drink beer or whatever, drink alcohol, sit around wherever and just bullshit about the same fucking stories over and over again. And I know a lot of people do that. I do that. Like I'll talk to my dad mostly because I don't have that much new to talk about to him or whatever. Like we'll talk about the same stuff or similar things, repeat stuff that we've already said before. But it's even more crazy with these like older people, or maybe just people in general. They just sit around bullshit talking about the same exact things over and over and over again. And I mean, I guess it's kind of like how I'm surprised that my dad plays the exact same poker game on his phone. Probably he's probably played more of that in terms of hours overall than I've possibly ever played video games. I don't know about that. Like when I used to play World of Warcraft, I played that for a lot of time, like every day. So maybe not that bad, but it's probably not that far off. So, and I'm like, holy shit, he's just playing the exact same game, like Texas Hold'em poker or whatever shit. And that is just incredible to me. So I guess it's not that crazy to think that these people just bullshit about the same stories, sitting around, yeah, drinking, all this crap. But the man, I got completely off topic, but whatever I was trying to talk about. But yeah, I'm just kind of semi-venting or whatever about that kind of thing. But I was telling my dad in the car, I was like, what the fuck are these people doing here? They're just standing around. And then we were just joking, and he was like joking around or whatever. He was like, man, sometimes you just wish these old people, you just fucking want to fucking beat the shit out of them. And then I was just like, you know, me just like joking around with that. I was just like, yeah, like, you know, because I was just thinking the whole time, like in that moment, I was like, what the fuck are these people doing? And I was just like, man, sometimes you just feel like fucking bam, just fucking going up to some of these people and just fucking decking them because you're just like, what the fuck are you doing here, motherfucker? Bam! Like, you know, you just get in that fucking moment where you're just thinking that, like, oh man, like sometimes you just want to punch the fuck out of an NPC. Like, what are you standing there for, motherfucker? But that's just what I was thinking going through that store, and I was like, I mean, and when I went to the other stores, it wasn't like anything. Like Aldi was, surprisingly, Aldi was like very empty, so that was good, I guess. and the Stop and Shop was very empty as it usually is, so that was good. So that was quick, but it was just funny in that shop, right? I was like, "What the fuck, man?" I said "fuck" so many times this video already. But yeah, I mean, I guess that was kind of me, realizing in that moment. I was like, yeah, the stuff. I mean, I already known this. Like that's I maybe not didn't express it as well as I probably should have, but like no, I agree that the reality or whatever is getting crazier. Like it's devolving further and further. It's not like just a complete static like oh it's just staying the same level. No, it's increasing, and it since this recent stuff the CV and all that crap since that happened. I mean that woke me up and all that. Well, at least that didn't wake me up necessarily, but that accelerated it incredibly. It's definitely it's definitely gone up quite a bit more on the graph. Quite a spike upward on that kind of level. Um and with that, do I think it's coming to like some kind of eventual head or something? I personally don't think so. I think it's just gonna be that's just me. I don't know. Like you got people like Christoph talking about like the flooding or whatever the Athena, Poseidon, and all that kind of things that he's feeling. Um, I mean, maybe something will happen, but I guess me in my own local bubble or whatever, I don't think anything's really going to come to a head. I think it's just going to be kind of. I mean, I don't know. I still kind of am in that mentality that I know not everybody is in, but like it's just kind of you make it like you make the reality how you want it, not so much maybe how you want it, but you make it like you're making that reality. So for in Kristoff's case, I don't know, like I guess he recently had his like water shut off for a while, and he was upset. He was kind of pissed off about that or annoyed about that. And he's relating that to his what he's been talking about with all the water and the whatever you want to say the symbol, not so much. I don't know this the uh metaf the stuff, the synchronicities with the water and stuff that he's seeing. Um, so like but me, I haven't gotten my water like shut off. My the internet went out like 2 days ago, but it went out for like an hour. It wasn't like a big deal. But like I don't know. And these people that are, of course, the doomsday speak. I'm not saying that's what he's necessarily saying. It's just I'm saying my perspective. Like I don't think that we're coming to some head, or that other fucking jackass, Chiron Last or whatever, talking about whatever the fuck he's talking about. I don't know, saying that basically he's going on his walk, the end is nigh, zombies, whatever the fuck he's talking about. I just look at that guy too, like, this is just me not even responding at all to Rudy's video right now, but I'm just kind of like venting about whatever. That Chiron Last guy, maybe I would have a different opinion if I didn't do it like the videos the way that I do it, where I record myself, my face. I have given my real name, quote unquote real name, whatever my my what was the system name or whatever the shit that Mac would call it, the name on the birth certificate. Yeah, that's what he would call it. First name all caps, last name all caps. Like I've given that. I talk, obviously, like anybody could talk. The audio and everything, but this Chiron Last guy, he's never ever, as far as I can see, ever fucking shown his face. I'm guessing he's never given his name or whatever. Like, I don't know. As he is, as far as I'm concerned, somebody that's never shown their face, they might as well not really. They might as well be an AI or whatever shit. They might as well be a Mid Journey, whatever shit, Chat GPT. Like, if you're not willing to show your face or in some way or make some kind of degree of vulnerability and putting yourself out there, like, I don't know, like, yeah, your voice is one thing. It's not like he's using necessarily Microsoft Sam. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's like you got Hatsune Miku and the Vocaloids and stuff like that that make the synthesized voices and stuff. I'm not saying that it's exactly like that, but I'm just saying, like, if you're not willing to show your face or anything, or I don't know, it's just, to me, that just says that, and I don't know, and the shit with he's supposedly homeless, I don't believe that. There's no fucking audio. There's shit. If this guy, when I'm out there on my fucking phone, when I'm out there on my fucking phone, talking, you hear fucking wind, you hear noises, you hear whatever. Me walking, even if I found a nice little quiet spot, there would still be fucking noise. Like, what? I don't know. I just don't believe that shit. I don't believe he's homeless or whatever the fuck. I don't even know if this fucker's real, as far as I'm concerned. I've seen this guy before, and I've been subscribed to him, and he did all those, like, what would you call it? The, intellectual fucking masturbation, intellectual masturbation kind of videos, just talking, like, oh, big fucking words and stupid shit like that. And as Christoph said, like, I don't know, it's just, that's my opinion on that, is that this guy's a fucking clown. If he's even fucking an actual person, I don't know. I don't really buy it. If you're not willing to show your face, at least sometimes, I don't really believe. Why should I believe that you're actually some person? I don't know. That's how I look at it. And yeah, I can be generated. I can make myself more pixelated, so it makes it even less convincing that I'm not generated. But I don't know. I know I'm not, but others, at least to me, this is a little bit more convincing than just a voice on the fucking other end. I don't know. But yeah, complete tangent from that on the side. Yeah, I mean, I do think that this place is, as I said, it has gotten and it is getting more crazy as time goes on. But at the same time, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. And not that, well, I think that'd be implied that you probably don't like where it's going. And I'm not saying I like where it's going, but I don't know. It's becoming just much more laughable as time goes on, I guess. And I've been taking it less and less seriously as time goes on. At the same time as taking it more seriously and in terms of trying to, I consider live my life or whatever, do the things I want to do. But some other things as well with that is that I've noticed that, and Christoph has said this, where he's like, he doesn't have anything that he's interested in watching, or like there's no videos on YouTube for him to watch. I mean, my YouTube recommendations feed has been like so fucking barren in the same way. Like, it's just giving me the same stuff that I've watched before, or if not that, it's just stuff I don't give a shit about. So it's like, yeah, there's less and less stuff for me to just mindlessly, like, consume or watch. So, personally, what I've been doing is I've just been, in that sense, almost forced to go kind of more within and be creative, I guess. Expressive outside. Go in and then express outside myself. Stuff like the modding projects and things like that. My hobbies, creative hobbies and stuff. Rather than just the consuming part. Like games have been so fucked up, like, probably for more than a decade at this point, in terms of at least, like, the big AAA mainstream kind of game stuff. So, like, the people that are still trying to game, they're like, oh man, it just keeps getting worse, and it's like, yeah, sure, but, you know, you just keep going to the same fucking, you keep going to the same fucking dirty fountain and expecting to get cleaner water the next time or something shit like that. Like, bad analogy, but that's what they're doing. They keep going to the same place expecting different results. And it's like, well, go to somewhere different or make your own shit or do something. I don't know. Like, I haven't had any desire for, like, the modern games at all for, like, the longest time, so it does not really affect me at all. I just kind of laugh at it and just look at it like, you know, look at you people. Just same shit with the movie industry and everything. Like, I don't care because I'm not actively caring about consuming it at this point. I know other places to find that, or I already have things that exist that I use to do that. I don't know. It's not something I care about anymore that I would want to um be like these people that are saying, oh, the gaming industry and all this shit. The fuck do I care? I'm not playing those shitty games anyway. Once again, side tangent aside, I guess I haven't really talked out like this in a while, so I'm just kind of saying everything at once. But let's try and get back on track here to Rudy's Post Nostalgos, his video, and see if I can continue on from there. So let's continue to see what he said. There might be some skipping around. I'm not going to be editing much because it's a pain on this system right now, so it's probably going to be mostly raw upload here without much editing, so yeah.
Out there will tell you that it's this age and this age, and the planets are in this phase, and the moon.
All right, I'm gonna pause, and then I'm gonna try and find the next thing that I wanted to talk about. So give me a moment. Okay, give me another moment. I can't find the pause button. Well, shit. Is there no pause button on this setup? Come on. Where the fuck? There's got to be a pause button. Okay, then. Fuck it. Because I can't upload raw if there's going to be 2 parts or whatever. Then I have to edit it still, so fuck it. This is... How is there no pause button on here? I can't see it. Screw it. Whatever. I'll just find it.
Moons for the job I have because I get to see so many people going through it. Like I said before, I've gone through it. I'm going through it. You're going through it.
Oh yeah, he that's what he started talking about was basically these people that would walk into his store and into the store he works at, and it just what people would consider weird, crazy, interesting characters, whatever. I'll talk about the second lady first because I have less to say about that. But this lady that would just come in and just talk to herself, like very loudly, very noticeably, not like whispering or just like like how some people like I talk to myself a lot, just because for me I don't know it comes out more. It seems to stick better for whatever I'm thinking of or whatever I'm trying to suss out in myself if I usually talk out loud, I guess. And there's other reasons. Sometimes I just do it out of frustration. Like he mentioned with the first guy, he just kind of like mumbles to himself, like not even really talking, but just kind of mumbles to himself his frustrations and stuff, like blah, 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 that kind of stuff. I do that a lot, just kind of not a lot because I don't get that frustrated all the time, but I've done that sometimes when my mom's being crazy and shit like that. But yeah, with this other lady he was talking about, where she just like straight up is like talking out loud and like real loud, and people are like looking at her and stuff. I do think that, like I said, a lot of people talk to themselves, maybe not to that extent, but he's saying like that they have a lot of baggage, like baggage in their lives that causes them to kind of be like this or whatever, that they do that. I've not seen too many people like that myself, but I know that there are a lot around. Like that was one of the advantages when I was being a wagey. I guess in my case, maybe advantage or disadvantage, depending on how you look at it. But I didn't have to directly deal with customers and like the general public that often. I only had to deal with the assholes that I worked with, or that I would generally kind of work around, the manufacturing and the production kind of side of that. the idiots that work in those industries and stuff, but not so much directly with the customers and everything. So I didn't work retail, so I didn't see all these characters that I'm sure working at whatever place that Rudy works at. I'm sure it's a daily occurrence to see these kind of people. Even my dad, he told me when he worked at a wine and liquor store for a while as a just like a cashier or whatever, like the clerk. He would see these guys that would come in there like every fucking day, and they would get like just they would come in there regularly, like every fucking day, and buy like a whole bottle of vodka, like I don't know, like like a liter, 2 liter of vodka or some shit. And you know that they're not getting that for a party. They're fucking drinking that themselves, and it's like holy shit. And probably so many other weird ass characters that would come in. And I'm not, yeah, no judgments per se, but like, yeah, that's how they come off as. So I guess I'm kind of lucky that I didn't necessarily need to see that, the kind of more fucked up sides of people, I guess, in the flesh. But I know it's there. It's just I haven't had to see it that much, just because of the places I personally worked. Even though you'd see a lot of fuck ups in those too, but not nearly as frequently, I guess. And then probably the thing that I wanted to talk about more was when he was talking about. I'm probably just gonna like talk about how he said it, just because it's harder to find it in the video at the specific time. They just kind of mention what I remember, how Rudy said it. But he had this guy that would come in, and he would always look kind of just like ragged and tired and fucked up. Like nice enough guy or whatever, like friendly enough and all that kind of stuff when he was not in a fucked up mood. But he would come in with his I guess maybe not so much wife, but his girlfriend or his baby mama. I guess that would be the term, his baby mama. Like I guess he got her pregnant at some point and then he's stuck with her, kind of shit. And he would just look like all fucked up. Like she would just come in, they would come in, she would to Rudy. He said that she would just act like basically like this lady's probably in her like 40s, like late 30s, early 40s kind of thing. This guy was probably in his 50s, maybe like mid 50s or some shit. He was saying, and this girl, she's like this grown woman, and she would just act like a little kid or whatever, like just how her kind of mannerisms or her kind of way of, she would just be like a kid, and they would come in. They would buy shit, just like junk, just how wifey loves always these women, and people just love to buy shit that they don't need for the sake of it. And then when she would leave, she would let him deal with like paying for everything or whatever bullshit as one would expect with a wifey. Excuse me, and that kind of thing. And he would say that this guy would just be in like in those cases be in like a pretty like shitty mood, talking about like just mumbling to himself and asking the same questions, like acting a bit weird in that kind of way, just like haphazard or whatever, like aloof. But that's kind of how I view relationships so much myself, is like these weak men that just let the women in their lives or whatever, they run their lives. They are not the man, is that they are just the like the slave, or not so much the slave, I don't know, they put themselves in that position. These guys, they put themselves in that position, and then they just act like a bitch. They just let themselves be kicked around, like fucking treated like dirt. And just be pussies, like and that, like I said, I love my dad a lot, and I love my mom. It sounds fucked up. I love my mom and I love my dad, but I like my dad. Like I could talk to him and hang out with him and bullshit with him and all that stuff. I like my dad. I love my dad and my mom, and I like my dad. but I don't really like my mom. Like, I love her, but I don't really like her. Like, if she is out of the house, it's better because she is just a fucking pain in the ass. She has an aura of anxiety that she always gives off. Um, and this is like for everybody. I don't know. Like, and I always joke with him now. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you that you married this one? Like, she's crazy, but you're even more crazy because you fucking said I do to this one. What the hell is wrong with you? Like, I joke about that now so much with him, but it's like, it's true. I'm like, holy shit. But he just lets her like kick his ass around, like, and as Rudy said, that with these guys, these like cucked men. I know it's not the actual term of cuckolding or whatever, but that's just the word that's kind of like a good single word to describe it. Like, just these cucked men that they just let their wives and shit just fucking their mommy. One sec. Oh, okay. All right. Apologies for that. I heard something. But yeah, these cucked men that just let their wives just walk all over them. And like, they go through these stores and it is like mommy and a kid and their kid. It's not like husband and wife. It's like mommy and their fucking kid. And the thing I was talking about in the store that I wanted to mention was, as Rudy was talking about this in his video, um it was like the synchronicity came up immediately when he mentioned like the guys just following their wife around like they're a kid, like just following them around like that's what I saw at the, and I noticed it. I wouldn't notice that kind of thing, like, just because I'm doing my own shit, but I'm at the store and I noticed that and I just laughed about it. I'm like, oh my god. I see this old guy at the dairy section with his wife. I'm assuming it's his wife. I'm sure it was, but this older guy and this older woman, and she's just, bringing the cart around. Do we need any milk or some shit like that? And he's like, no. Like, like exactly as Rudy, mentioned, like a child being dragged around by their mother at the store. Like, that's exactly the aura or vibe that is given off from that. And that's exactly how my dad is too. Like, if I go to the store with him, he usually doesn't. If it's just me and him, he usually doesn't come into the store because I just go and get my shit and get out. I don't need him to come in there for any reason, for the most part, unless he wants to go in there for something. But so he just waits in the car. But when she comes if she comes with, which I don't like it when she comes because she's fucking annoying at the store, but I usually just let her fucking. I do my own thing and then she goes with him most of the time. But yeah, it's the exact same thing. She is going around just dragging him around. Like, it's maybe not that bad, but it wasn't as pathetic as the guy that I saw yesterday, the old guy with the old lady, with my dad and my mom. It's not as pathetic, like, outwardly, but it's the same exact fucking thing. Like, just following her around like fucking mommy and the son or daughter or whatever. Just, he's not doing nothing. He's just waiting for, yes, honey, yes, wife, or whatever. She'll ask him, oh, do you want this or which one should we get? And he's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's the fucking same exact thing. And really, that's like all of these married couples. I don't know. Like, I've seen times where if it was like a younger couple or something, yeah, a lot of times I'm surprised I don't see that many couples going around. It's almost always just either one older woman or like one woman or older guys or younger people, they don't always, like, most of the time they don't have a partner or something with them. But the few times that I have seen it, most of the time it is the exact same way like that, where it's the mommy leading the child, the unwilling child mostly, just like through the store, just buying bullshit, not even knowing why the hell she's there, just for the fucking sake of it most of the time. Oh, which should we get? Should we get this? Oh, I don't know, like that kind of crap. Because I was in that situation when I was a kid. My mom would fucking drag me around. I don't, for some reason, it's like Mandela effect. My brother, either he didn't ever get dragged around like I was, or something. But I don't remember him at all in these situations. But I would be dragged to like J.C. Penney or Kohl's or whatever bullshit clothing store or whatever that she would just feel like going out that day and buying shit. And I would just be asking her, you know, like, she'd be asking me, "Oh, do you like that shirt, or does this look like it would fit you, or something?" And I'm just looking at her like, "Are we gonna go home soon? Like, are we leaving soon? I just want to go home and shit like that. Like, you know, when are we leaving? You know, that kind of shit." But with these husbands or whatever you want to fucking call them, these pussy ass fucking men, it's literally, yeah, it's mommy leading their son around the store, buying bullshit, basically being like, almost being like, if you look at it from the outside, if you look at it, it is like being humiliated. Like, fuck. What the fuck, man? Just, they look so fucking defeated. Because they are. I mean, and that's just how it is. Like, that is how so many of these relationships are with these fucking, demasculated, cucked men. I don't know. They just fucking let wifey fucking push them around. And I've told my dad so many times as a joke, I'm just like, dude, and I've said this before, I think, but like, man, you had the chance years ago possibly to train this one, and I legitimately mean that in the way, like, train them like it, like a dog, like how you train a dog or an animal or a pet or something. Like, you had the opportunity years ago to not be a fucking pussy bitch and train this one properly so you wouldn't be fucking kicked around by her, but you didn't do that, and now you're the fucking bitch. And you get fucking kicked around. Like, I don't say like literally like that, but it's basically what I'm saying. It's like, dude, you had the opportunity to train her and you failed. Just like if you have a dog that you don't train properly when they're young or whatever, and when they're growing, then later on, then you just have something that just has no respect for you, has no fucking regard, won't listen to you, kind of shit. And that's exactly how it works for most of these couples. Like, and when Rudy was talking about this guy like looking like ragged, or kind of like just like disheveled or whatever, like very tired, basically, it made me think of this guy that I worked with at the place, International Papers, this this fucking stupid place. They got nice shirts though, nice shirts and nice pants that I still wear. But this place that I worked with this guy, and we were on the night shifts. So the night shift, we just had two mechanics or whatever. It was me in this case, and this other guy. I had a few other guys, but this guy that I worked with the longest for that time, I think, was this guy Martin, and he was a new guy too. He was a new guy, but he was much older than me. Um, but he just looked like just his like face. He was a nice guy. I thought he was a nice guy and shit, but he just always looked tired and like disheveled, I guess. I don't know. He just looked ragged and tired. Even though he was a nice enough guy and all that stuff, he just looked tired. And I could hold a conversation with him. It was just like, I could just see that he just looked fucking exhausted and tired. And I could tell when he would tell me about some of his, we would talk about, you know, just be bullshitting when there's nothing going on, which was a lot of the time. Um, but he would tell me that he and his wife at their house, they decided to get like a pool or something, or redid the patio or some shit. Like, I guess they like to have parties or host parties. And I was just thinking the whole time, I'm like, holy fuck, man. Paying like $15,000 to like re-tile this fucking pool area around your fucking pool or whatever, just for some, I don't, like, to me that was just like, obviously they were much more of a what kind of thing? vain. I guess you could say like vain in a way that they would care about that kind of shit and throwing parties. I was never into that kind of shit, so it never appealed to me. But that's how I looked at it, and I'm sure that it's funny because his wife at least sounded like she had more balls than my mom does. Like his wife actually like told some of her family members that she felt fucked her over. Like, basically, I'm not talking to you anymore. My mom, she just lets people fucking spit on her in her family. She just lets them fucking walk all over kind of shit. But Martin, I know he was the exact same way as my dad. Like, the kind of cucked, like, he would just let wifey do whatever kind of shit. Wouldn't talk back to wifey, that kind of thing. And I'm sure he and both her would be buying so much garbage that they don't need, probably mostly by wifey's request. And yeah, he just looked fucking exhausted all the time. He just looked like a fucking tired, pretty defeated guy. Even though he was still a nice enough guy, he just looked fucking exhausted and tired all the time, and he probably was. And there you go with the wifey shit, the happy wife, happy life. But happy wife, happy life. If she really happy, and are you really happy? Probably not. Just like everything in this reality, it's reversed. If you want to make wifey happy, you don't listen to her. If you want to make your life happy, you don't get a wifey. Maybe, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm going too far there for some people, but like in the examples I've seen, if the guy is a fucking acts like a pussy with the wife, it's gonna be so much worse. Like even my uncle, he got fucked over by his first wife, and then he didn't get married to this other one, but he had a kid with this other one, and then they're both fucking him over. Now they're both fucking now his first wife, she looks like a witch now. She literally looks like a witch. Like with like the generic witch, like with a cauldron, fucking stirring a cauldron. Like she's fucking fat now. She's fucking old as fuck looking. She's nasty looking to me. The picture that I've seen of her at least, and I'm like, wow. And then now the one that had the other kid with, now she's apparently starting to get fat or some shit. I'm like, man, these fucking guys, like, what the hell? They just beg to be fucking kicked around and fucking fucked with by these. They just beg for it. Like they ask for it because they keep letting it fucking happen, and they bring more. Like they don't know what to do with themselves otherwise. I guess that probably explains most of it. They don't know what to do with themselves otherwise. They were told to do that, so they did it. And they're like, okay, just like the people that went and, I don't know, during these, stupid wars and shit, get drafted. Like, you could have just said, hey, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not, or whatever, supposedly, all that shit. Like, they just went there and then they just took commands. And you know what? As I think it does make sense, I agree with Christoph here, where it's not the guy giving the command in this case that I'm the example that it's not the guy giving the command that's the bad guy there. It's the fucking asshole that follows the command and doesn't fucking question it or just say, hey, I'm not doing that. It's those fucking guys. They're the ones that should be blamed, and they maybe they're not blamed in a lot of cases, but they should be because it's their responsibility. That's why they're the one that pulled the trigger or whatever shit. And that's why I don't really have much. Like, I think about it, like, I feel like, oh man, like, shit, that sucks. But I don't feel bad for these guys, as Rudy says in his video. I don't feel like sympathy necessarily for this guy or empathy or whatever, because they're the ones who put themselves through that. They're the ones who decided to say, I do, or marry wifey, or have a kid with this person, or whatever shit, involve themselves in it. They're the ones who did that. They're the ones responsible for that, and it's their fucking fault. And nobody should feel bad for them because they're the ones who volunteer for that. Just like, depending on how you look at it, how I feel about this realm or whatever, I don't know the answer exactly there, and I don't think anybody will ever know the exact answer with that. But for me, it's like, I think I 100% wanted to be in this place. I 100% asked to be here. I 100% put myself here, and I wanted to be here. I wasn't forced here or whatever bullshit like that. That is not the case for me. So people that complain, oh, and he says that Well, Rudy talks about that, but not maybe not in this exact kind of way. But um, me, like, I know that I came here, and I feel that probably more people that than they think actually also are in that same boat, that they wanted to come here, so them bitching about being here and like saying how terrible it is here and shit. Like, I mean, that's the thing with Matt. Uh, well, you know what? I think Rudy said more, but I don't want to make this any longer because I'm seeing it's approaching the hour mark. It's the fucking hour mark. I've just been flapping my fucking gums. Uh, but yeah, I think that's most of the things that Rudy talked about that I wanted to talk about from his video, even though I didn't actually listen to him as much. I just kind of remembered as I was talking some of the stuff he mentioned that I was had interest in adding to, I guess, or putting my own opinion or my own experience in or whatever. But I think recently, with the kind of, I mean, I had that little rant earlier on, like 20-minute mark or whatever shit about some things. I think, I think now that people have kind of like gotten more quote unquote awake to the way that this place works, and people have just been like kind of thrown in like a washing machine or like a dryer and just like fucking their whole their whole I don't know why I have these fucking earbuds on because I'm not listening to anything, but they don't people within this fringe, I guess, are now kind of feeling that we see stuff. I think a lot of people are becoming lost now that it's kind of maybe or they're becoming kind of more not sure uh about where they want to what direction, like they it seems like there is some kind of like directionlessness that is coming about, like with Matt. And you know, he's just uploading videos and but he seems to have to give an excuse every time he does make a video that is like outside of, it's more for kind of quote unquote entertainment. Yeah, I mean, he always makes excuses for people for no reason, like against, like, oh yeah, people commenting and shit. And I guess I understand. I don't get that many comments, so I can't say if I got that many comments if I would be in the same, if I'd be the same way and react to it like that. But he's just kind of making whatever, like he's just laughing at it, shit. But then I had to say, like, outside of that, what the hell are you doing to like fill the time that you have here, or whatever? Besides seeming to be always wishing that you'd be out of here and, oh yeah, we're gonna be out of here and everything, just get rid of this place, fuck this place, blah blah blah. Fucking some of the shit that Matt has said fucking disgust me. The fucking Agent Smith, like literally quoting Agent Smith about fucking how the humans are low and disgusting, you know, all this fucking shit about humans being horrible and all this stuff, you lowly beings. That shit, when I've heard that, I'm like, man, I almost fucking just turn off the video. I'm like, man, motherfucker, you really fucking his supposed work. He needs a lot more work if he's still fucking thinking that shit. To me, at least. I don't know, like, that's fucked up to me. And that's what people like, who's that other fucking guy on the other guy that Haldy McCoskey or whatever the fuck that Christoph made that response about, where he was like talking about suicide and shit, basically like a suicide cult or whatever, like like hoping for it kind of shit. Like that kind of stuff just fucking disgusts me now when I hear that kind of shit. I don't know. And you know, even with I guess maybe just with the religious beliefs in some ways, where they think that you're going to be going somewhere like better or whatever. This is just, once again, this is obviously all my opinion. Anything that I say, fucking, it really has no bearing, I'm sure, on anybody else what they actually think. It's just me kind of venting about how I feel about hearing stuff like that, and I'm just like, motherfucker, man. But some of the stuff with the religious standpoints where it's like, oh, you have to get out of here. I don't know. I'm much more in the kind of, at least for a while, Christoph was talking about that, where at the end, enjoying, or maybe not so much enjoying life, but living life. I don't know. Kind of, I'm not saying he doesn't talk about that anymore or believe that anymore. It's just he talks about much more shit that I really don't give a fuck about that much, like the I don't know, some of the fractal stuff, I guess, the stuff that's going on with his synchronicities and stuff. I don't know. I'm not so much into that with the limestone and the philosopher's stone and all that stuff. But I'm much more when the silent hunter and stuff. Maybe not so much the Ubermensch and that kind of thing, or Nietzsche and all necessarily, but more of the transforming what you have here to be better, or trying to just live and exist and enjoy what you have here and creating what you have here in a more positive, in a way that you enjoy instead of being supposedly tortured or miserable by it or whatever. I don't know. Tortured by it. I don't know. And oh, crap. I know his name. He's I agree with his what he says a lot recently too, and what he's always seemed to have said about, even though he gives kind of a negative tone in how he talks about how shitty everything is, but like how fucked up people are. But he's not wrong at the same time. Um. Oh, what's his name? Is it with an M? Damn it. I forget his channel name. I forget his channel name. I know the guy 100%. It's just I forget what the fuck his channel name is. But he's talked about stuff like that in like recent things, and that's just how I kind of look at it. Like it's no matter how crazy this place gets, I look at it like my environment. I can shape it and form it to whatever I really want it to be, and the stuff on the screen and the way that people act on the outside, it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really. Maybe I'll laugh at it and I'll be like, "Oh man, this place is getting fucking weird," but it's not something that makes me want to leave this place, because I guess just the philosophy that I look at it like, I came here to because being an infinite being was boring. I don't know. It's that's how I look at it. Like, I'm just here to do whatever, to exist, be creative, do whatever I find interesting and enriching, and experience this place like a video game in a way. Like, it's not it's not something that I want to get out of, because I know I came here for a reason, and I know the place, I feel that I know the place outside of this would just be like, I would go back there and be like, oh, this is great, and then whatever, time doesn't exist, and then eventually it would just be like, oh wait, now I know why I wanted to go to that place, because this place is fucking boring as shit. Being a infinite being with no risk and or no perception of risk and no anything, just being an infinite energy being, whatever. The God is not that. It's not all that it's cut out to be. It's not that fun when you don't have that kind of added stuff to it or whatever. I don't know. It's hard. I guess it's hard to explain, and probably a lot of people would say that I'm a fucking idiot for that, which is fine. Hey, you could believe whatever the fuck you want. That you got forced here and you're in prison. You're in soul prison for whatever reason. You're here to be schooled, and then schooled to learn here, and it's like, well, maybe, but then learn what? So you could go back to being an infinitely powerful being? To learn what? I don't know. That's just maybe to learn how to do something other than being an infinitely powerful being. I don't know. If you created this place, then can you really make it? Can you really make yourself that much better? I don't know. Like, it's strange to with the classroom thing. People just, I don't know. People are not willing to, as frequently compared to the Christian or whatever the other religious standpoints, where they look at somebody else outside of them as God or whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's what I said at the end here. I just kind of just came out of my rambling That's kind of just how I view things, I guess. This video has gone on pretty damn long already, over an hour. Some people might like that. A lot of rambling here, but yeah. It was funny. I guess I'll just summarize. It was funny yesterday when I went shopping, and then I watched Post Nostalgos or Rudy's video that there was a definite synchronicity there with the old couples and the way that people were acting. Just kind of like I was like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is up with these people? What are they doing here? Um, and some of the other topics there. We certainly all are schizophrenic by that bullshit medical definition at the end of the day. So, if we're all one thing, does it really matter? No, no. We're all just kind of schizophrenics, uh, sharing our experiences through a distorted uh means of communication to other people. Um, but yeah, I guess once again, this went on way longer than it needed to, I guess. But that's all I wanted to say, I guess, right now. Got that out there, but yeah. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, if hope you enjoyed listening to my bullshit ramblings, basically. Um, and I guess I will see you next time, whenever that happens to be. But until then, have a good day. Have a continued enjoy your life if you choose to do that. And yeah. I will see you around. Take care.